Imagine if you were falling, not from tripping or not falling on a staircase, but just falling with wind blowing underneath you, and you try to reach out to grab something, but you can't. How would you back out from that? So, I'm the type of person who can't commit, but if I were stuck in that situation, I'd want to back out immediately as fast as possible, but you can't because there's nothing to grab on. And now, when it comes to the topic of commitment, when you're stuck in a situation where you can't back out from, that's when you learn how to commit. And I've been stuck in so many situations at times where I need to learn how to commit, such as when I'm going to jump out of a plane, or if I'm going to perform in front of hundreds of people, or if I'm going to do a lot of assignments for 2 years just to get one diploma. So, when it comes to the first story that I mentioned, jumping out of a plane, you think, how did I ended up there? So, it was a family vacation trip that my family took 4 years ago, back in 2014. And we decided to go to South Africa just to see the safari and just to explore more of what there is around the world. And instead, my parents decided it would be a good idea to go skydiving. And it's relatable to Horace. And so I did not know what it was, but my parents were actually inspired from a Bollywood film where they teach how to go on adventurous activities. So they thought, we're in South Africa, we're in a new continent, so why not go for an adventurous activity? So they signed me up for skydiving, but they themselves didn't do it because they thought, why not let her do it? She'll experience it, we're too old. So what happened was my cousin happened to be there too, my younger cousin. She's younger than me by 3 years, and she did not know what was happening, and I was very, very jealous of her that she didn't know what was happening. So when we had to sign a form, and that was my first time signing a form where it said I'm responsible for my own life, that's when I wanted to back out a lot. But my parents already paid the money, so you can't back out now. So I signed the form, I put on my suit, and I went into the plane, and every moment that we went, every time the plane went higher and far away from the land, that was when I dreaded that moment so much because I was counting down, what if I died? What if this is my last moment living? And it was the same altitude as Horace, 15,000 feet. And this time, but when I went up, you could see the view of the ocean. Basically, I was jumping with the view of the ocean, and there was no land. So that was more scary for me. But so then came to the point where he opened it was tandem skydiving, so there was a person stuck behind me. So the person opened a door, and at this point, that was it. I had to jump off, but I didn't want to jump off. So I sat in the plane and I said, no, I don't want to jump. And he's like, no, you're already here, the door's already open, it's either out, there's no way you can go back in. And then I'm like, yes I can, I'm on a plane. But sadly, he pushed me, and when he pushed me, I held on to the door. So at this point, I was hanging with the guy behind me. He was trying to jump, and I was hanging on the plane door, begging for my life. And if you saw the video, you could see my tears coming out. You could see snot coming out of my face, and I was just hanging for my life. And then later, he tickled me, and I fell. So there was no point to back out from that, and I just screamed my life out. There was no point that I could back out from that, and that was the first time I learned that I committed to something. I committed to skydiving, and when I landed on the land, which was, thank God, I didn't land on the ocean. I realized that I finally committed to something. Even though it was small, it was short, it was very, very big for me, and it was an achievement. So. But now, that was because it was something so short term. It was just a small activity. No one's life was at stake except for mine, but it's okay. Then past a year later on, when now I got a main lead role for a play. At this time, not only was it my responsibility, but it was other people's at stake. Other people were at stake for this play because it's a huge play. Other people were involved in this play. So now, I actually auditioned for a small part role just because my friends were doing it, and I thought it would be fun just to do it with my friends. So I auditioned for backstage volunteer and for just to help out, or a small role, that's it. But I accidentally got myself the main lead role, female role, which was surprising, but I don't know how that happened. So then came the night of the first performing night. And I was very, very scared because when I saw the audience through the curtains, I was like, there's hundreds of people. I can't do this. I cannot deliver my lines. There's no way I'm going to mess up. And it turns out the play had like 5 main lead roles. So I was actually the one with most lines. Wow, thank you, God. I was the one with the most lines, but there were 5 main leads. And if one of us were gone, then it would just ruin the whole play. So I decided to test that out. So I went to hide in the bathroom, and I didn't come out until it was time to perform. And I didn't want to come out. I wanted to back out. I wanted to clear my doubts that if I backed out, what would have happened? Because I couldn't back out from skydiving, so why not back out from this? But a friend came to me. They found me hiding in the bathroom, and they said that you're not the only one in this play. There's so many people, and they're as stressed out as you. You're not the only one in it. There are other people in it. So if other people can commit, why can't you commit in this play? And for me, it was more like me questioning what is commitment like? What is commitment for myself? What is my commitment worth towards other people? So that's when I realized my commitment is a big thing for not only myself, but for other people too. So that's when that got me out of the bathroom. I went, performed for the rest of the nights. And that's when I learned that commitment was a big thing, not only for myself, but for other people. Then came when I had to do the IB diploma. If anybody did the IB diploma, they'd understand the struggles through the years, through 2 years. But IB diploma was a long-term commitment. This time it was not a short-term commitment. This time it was not only a commitment where it involved other people, but it was my own commitment, but for long-term, for my future. And I was very, very scared, but I did not know much because my school didn't offer any other courses except for IB diploma. Thank you, God, again, for this faith. And so then came a time when I had to submit at least 3 assignments in 1 week, or like have 4 tests in 1 week, and submit an art portfolio in a week. And it got overwhelming for me, and that's when I actually questioned, do I want to drop down? Do I want to drop out of IB diploma? Do I want to go certificate? But then that's when I realized that I'm the only one at stake. Nobody's being harmed. My parents are paying for my tuition. Everybody's focused on their own future. At the end, we're going to go to different universities and we're going to achieve different things in life. So now, then I had to question my own future, and this is long-term. This is long-term commitment. Do I really want to do this? So that's when I realized that after learning through my experience of skydiving, after learning through being in a play, I realized that maybe commitment is not as bad as it is. Maybe commitment is something that I can actually do because I've already done it before, but this time it's just long-term, and I'm the only one at stake. So why not give it a go? And I did, and now when I look back at it, I'm very, very proud of myself. Even though I could have done better, I'm still proud that I did the IB diploma and I achieved something. So now, when I look back, I jumped out of a plane, I performed in front of 100 people, and I did all those things. I now realize that commitment is not just a word, but an act. Thank you.
Okay.